Case dismissed. Here is a short story about Wilbur, who enters the higher court expecting the last judgment, only to discover that the final verdict is his eternal innocence. Wilbur stood outside a vast courtroom beneath a sign carved in light. The higher court. He had been summoned for the last judgment, and he was certain every mistake, failure, secret thought, and broken relationship would be used against him. Inside, there was no jury, no angry crowd, and no gallery of witnesses. Only a judge clothed in quiet radiance, a smiling advocate beside the bench, and a sharp-suited prosecutor dragging carts of dusty evidence. "All rise," called the bailiff. "The court of perfect equality is now in session." Wilbur rose with trembling knees. The prosecutor stepped forward. "Your Honor, the defendant has believed he was a separate person. He has thought himself weak, powerful, guilty, special, unworthy, and responsible for making others happy. He has people-pleased to avoid disapproval, defended his roles, hidden private thoughts, judged his body, and looked backward until he froze himself into a concept of the past." He dropped a heavy file onto the table. "I present his memories." The advocate leaned toward Wilbur. "Do not rely on past learning. Put the goal out front." At the far end of the courtroom, a golden torch appeared. Its flame illuminated one word: innocence. The prosecutor opened the first file. Images arose of arguments, disappointments, sickness, pain, shame, and moments when Wilbur hated himself. "This proves what he is," cried the prosecutor. The judge calmly asked, "Who interpreted these images?" "The defendant did," replied the prosecutor. "While identified with which thought system?" The prosecutor hesitated. "The ego." The judge turned to Wilbur. "Would you like to keep its interpretation?" Wilbur looked again. The memories felt crusty and ancient, like masks he had adapted to until he mistook them for his face. "No," he said. "Spirit, come into my mind and give me an overhaul. Take apart what I made and rebuild my perception for your purpose." The advocate smiled. Correction accepted. A beam of light passed through the files. The memories remained, but their meaning changed. The relationships were no longer evidence of guilt. They became lessons showing Wilbur what he had believed about himself. Pain was no longer proof that he was a frail body. It pointed to a mind afraid of love. Private thoughts were not dangerous crimes. They were interference patterns waiting to be released. The prosecutor hurried to another cart. "Then I submit the defendant's body. He indulged it, resisted it, judged it, defended it, and believed it could imprison him." The judge asked, "Did God create a body as his identity?" "No," admitted the prosecutor. "Then the body cannot establish guilt. It may serve as a learning device until it is no longer needed. Let the body off the hook." The prosecutor slammed down another folder. He believed he could misuse creation. "A belief is not a creation," said the judge. "He never possessed the power to miscreate." The folder vanished. He believed he could make a wrong mind. "A mistake is not a real choice. Truth has no opposite." Another folder disappeared. He looked back. Only the ego looks back. He feared punishment. Fear is an afterthought. He failed his roles. Worthiness is of God. Completion is of God. Wholeness is of God. No role can add to or subtract from what he is. He had attack thoughts. Then let him hand them over. The prosecutor's carts began dissolving into light. Desperate, he pulled out one final document. "This is the defendant's personal identity," he announced. "His history, personality, body, opinions, conclusions, associations, and name. Without these, who is he?" The advocate whispered, "Do not let the dream character try to save itself. Wilbur is not your escape." Wilbur felt the old self-concept squirm. It warned him that spiritual freedom would cost him everything. Yet beneath the fear was a stillness asking for no defense. He stepped toward the bench. "I commit not to decide according to what I think I know or believe. I put my mind at the disposal of eternal authority. Show me who I am. Reveal reality. I desire freedom. I desire happiness. I desire to remember the light." The courtroom became completely silent. Without the noise of accusation, the prosecutor could no longer maintain himself. His suit crumpled to the floor, empty. The judge raised the gavel. "This court does not judge between stronger and weaker persons, better and worse bodies, successful and unsuccessful lives. Those distinctions belong to a dream. The last judgment is the final correction, declaring that what is false and what is true has never changed." The gavel came down, but instead of a bang, the room filled with laughter, music, and showers of light. Wilbur, the judge proclaimed, you are not guilty. You have merely forgotten. Forgetfulness calls for forgiveness, not punishment. You remain as God created you. The ego has no authority. The past has no claim, and no illusion can hold you hostage. The advocate opened the courtroom doors. Beyond them was no prison, no future sentence, and no complicated plan. Only the present moment shining like a springboard into eternity. What happens now? Wilbur asked. Now you stop fighting, lying, and hiding, said the advocate. You let yourself be done through. You carry the torch of purpose before you. You offer every relationship a blessing without demanding a role. You see everyone farther along than appearances suggest. You give love consistently because the only lack in any situation is the love you withhold. Wilbur took the torch. As he walked from the higher court, he saw that every person waiting outside carried the same innocence beneath their costumes and accusations. No one needed to prove worthiness. No one needed to earn completion. Everyone was a gift waiting to be unwrapped. Above the courthouse, the verdict blazed across the sky. Case dismissed. The last judgment had not condemned the world. It had released the mind from every judgment it had placed upon itself. May we sing, rest, and dance our way home together.